It was early spring in the quiet village of Willow Creek, where green fields stretched beyond the horizon and every morning began with the cheerful songs of birds. Life moved slowly there, and everyone knew everyone else. Children played freely along the dusty roads, farmers greeted each other before sunrise, and neighbors shared whatever they had. Among all the people in the village, 3 young men were known for their inseparable friendship. Their names were Ethan, Liam, and Noah. The 3 had grown up together since childhood. They had climbed the same trees, swum in the same river, and dreamed under the same starlit sky. Although they were best friends, each had a completely different personality. Ethan believed that every reward came through patience and honest work. He never looked for shortcuts. He would rather spend hours doing a job properly than finish it quickly with careless effort. Liam was intelligent and creative. He could solve difficult problems faster than almost anyone else. However, he disliked hard work. Whenever he found an easier path, he chose it, even if it meant sacrificing quality or thinking only about immediate rewards. Noah had the kindest heart in the village. He believed people mattered more than possessions. Whenever someone needed help carrying wood, repairing a roof, or harvesting crops, Noah was always the first to volunteer. His kindness sometimes left him with little for himself, but he never regretted helping others. Every morning the 3 friends met beneath an enormous oak tree standing near the village well. They shared breakfast, discussed their plans, and then walked together toward the fields where they worked. One warm morning, as they traveled through a forest path toward a nearby town to sell vegetables, they noticed an elderly man sitting beside the road. His clothes were worn, his hands trembled with age, and beside him rested an old leather bag that looked unusually heavy. The old man looked at them with tired eyes. "My sons," he said softly, "would one of you help me carry this bag to the next village? My legs have become too weak." Liam sighed immediately. "We're already late. Someone else will help him." Ethan looked at the old man with sympathy. "It won't take long." Noah smiled warmly. "I'll carry the bag." The bag was surprisingly heavy. Noah lifted it onto his shoulders while Ethan supported the old man as they walked slowly together. Liam reluctantly followed behind, muttering that they were wasting valuable time. After nearly an hour, they reached the neighboring village. The old man thanked them sincerely. "You have shown kindness when many others walked past." He opened the leather bag. The friends expected to see rocks or perhaps old belongings. Instead, the bag contained dozens of carefully wrapped seed packets. "They are fruit tree seeds," the old man explained. "Not ordinary seeds. These trees produce fruit for generations if cared for with patience." He handed each young man several packets. "Plant them wisely." The 3 friends thanked him and returned home. The following morning Ethan carefully selected the richest piece of land he owned. He cleared away weeds, loosened the soil, measured the distance between every planting hole, and gently covered each seed with fresh earth. Every evening he watered them before sunset. Noah planted most of his seeds but noticed several poor families who owned empty pieces of land yet had nothing to grow. Without hesitation, he shared many of his seeds with them. "If these trees succeed," Noah said, "we'll all have enough." The families thanked him with tears in their eyes. Liam examined his seeds thoughtfully. "They'll take years before producing fruit." The next day he traveled to the town market and sold every packet to a traveling merchant. The merchant paid him enough money to buy new clothes, delicious meals, and a shiny watch that attracted everyone's attention. For several weeks Liam enjoyed spending his money. Whenever Ethan watered tiny green sprouts or Noah worked alongside his neighbors, Liam relaxed beneath the shade of trees, laughing. "You two are working too hard." Ethan simply smiled. "We're planting our future." Months passed. The tiny sprouts slowly became young trees. Storms came. Strong winds bent the fragile branches. Many plants died, but Ethan replaced every weak tree with another seedling. Noah gathered villagers together, helping everyone protect their growing orchards. Liam watched from a distance. "I don't understand why you work so hard." Noah answered gently, "Because someday this work will feed our families." Another year passed. The orchards became stronger. Bright blossoms covered every branch. Bees filled the air with their gentle buzzing. Children loved running between the rows of young trees. Then one summer morning something wonderful happened. The first ripe fruit appeared. Golden apples, sweet peaches, juicy pears, and colorful plums decorated the branches. People from nearby villages traveled to Willow Creek just to buy the delicious fruit. Ethan sold enough harvest to repair his small house. Noah earned less because he had shared many trees with others, but every family he had helped insisted on sharing their harvest with him. Together they earned more than they ever imagined. Liam's money had disappeared months earlier. His expensive clothes had worn out. His watch had broken. Now he had nothing. One evening he quietly walked toward Ethan's orchard. I made a mistake. Ethan looked up from trimming branches. We all make mistakes. I thought only about today. Noah joined them carrying baskets filled with peaches. The future is built one day at a time. Liam lowered his head. I wish I had planted my seeds. Without saying another word, Noah handed him a healthy young sapling. This grew from one of my trees. Liam stared at him in surprise. After everything I said to you? Noah smiled. Friends help each other grow. Liam accepted the gift with grateful eyes. The next morning he planted the sapling. Unlike before, he treated it carefully. Every sunrise he watered it. He protected it from insects. He built a small fence around it. When storms arrived, he covered it with cloth to protect its delicate branches. Weeks became months. Months became years. The little tree slowly grew taller. Watching it develop changed something inside Liam. He discovered satisfaction in patient work. One afternoon a violent storm swept across the valley. Rain poured endlessly. Strong winds uprooted fences and broke tree branches. Many villagers feared their crops would be destroyed. Without hesitation the three friends gathered ropes, tools, and lanterns. All night they worked together, tying broken branches, strengthening weak fences, and helping neighbors save their orchards. At dawn they were exhausted. Their clothes were soaked. Their hands were covered with scratches. Yet they smiled because together they had saved hundreds of trees. The villagers never forgot that night. Whenever someone needed help afterward, everyone came together. Kindness spread through the community like sunlight after rain. Years passed. The orchards transformed Willow Creek. Travelers stopped to buy fruit. Merchants opened shops. Families found work harvesting, packing, and selling produce. Children who once dreamed of leaving the village now saw opportunities close to home. One autumn afternoon a wealthy businessman visited the village. He admired Ethan's orchard. "I'll buy your entire farm." Ethan politely refused. The businessman doubled the offer. Ethan smiled. "This land isn't just property. It's part of my family." The businessman then approached Liam. "What about yours?" Liam remembered the day he had sold the precious seeds for quick money. He shook his head. "I've already learned that some things are worth more than gold." Finally the businessman met Noah. "I hear you gave away many of your trees." "Yes. Didn't that make you poorer?" Noah looked across the valley where dozens of families worked happily among healthy orchards. "I became richer than I ever expected." The businessman looked confused. Noah continued, "When everyone succeeds together, no one remains poor." The businessman had never heard such an answer. He left the village thinking deeply. That winter food became scarce in nearby towns because heavy snow damaged many farms. Willow Creek still had plenty. Instead of charging high prices, the villagers loaded wagons with fruit, vegetables, and preserved food. They shared supplies with neighboring communities. People traveled for miles just to thank them. One elderly woman embraced Noah. "My grandchildren would have gone hungry without your kindness." Noah simply smiled. "We're neighbors." As spring returned once more, children gathered beneath the great oak tree where the three friends had always met. One curious boy asked, "How did your village become so successful?" Ethan answered first, "Success begins with honest work." Liam added, "And don't let the promise of quick rewards steal your future." Noah smiled. "Never forget to help others along the way." The children listened carefully. Those simple lessons spread from generation to generation. Years later, the mysterious old man returned to Willow Creek. His hair was even whiter. His steps were slower, yet his eyes sparkled with the same wisdom. The three friends recognized him immediately and welcomed him into the village. He walked quietly through the orchards. Trees stretched farther than he could see. Birds nested among the branches. Families laughed while picking fruit. Children filled baskets together. The old man smiled proudly. "You cared for the seeds well." Ethan bowed respectfully. "Your gift changed our lives." The old man shook his head. "The seeds were never the true gift." The friends looked at him curiously. He continued, "I've traveled through many villages carrying those same seeds. Most people refused to help me. Some accepted the seeds but never planted them. Others planted them only for themselves. Very few understood their true purpose." "What was their purpose?" Liam asked. "To reveal character." The old man looked at each friend. Ethan showed patience. He turned toward Noah. "You showed generosity." Finally he faced Liam. "And you proved something equally important." Liam looked surprised. "What did I prove?" "That a person who recognizes a mistake and changes their heart can build a better future." Liam felt tears fill his eyes. For years he had been ashamed of his selfishness. Hearing those words lifted a burden he had carried for so long. The old man reached into his worn leather bag one final time. Inside were 3 small wooden carvings shaped like trees. He handed one to each friend. Keep these as reminders that every choice is a seed. Some choices grow into regret. Others grow into hope. After sharing a final meal with the villagers, the old man quietly continued his journey before sunrise. No one ever saw him again. The 3 friends often wondered where he went. Perhaps he visited another village searching for kind hearts. Perhaps he simply disappeared into legend. No one knew. As decades passed, Ethan, Liam, and Noah grew old. Their orchards became forests of fruit trees. Children became parents. Parents became grandparents. Every family in Willow Creek had a story connected to one of the 3 friends. Some remembered Ethan teaching them how to care for young trees. Others remembered Noah arriving with food whenever someone faced hardship. Many remembered Liam encouraging young people not to repeat the mistakes he once made. Visitors often asked why the village seemed happier than anywhere else. The answer was always the same. Long ago, 3 friends had discovered that success was never built by talent alone. It grew through patience, honesty, kindness, forgiveness, and the courage to change. And just like the trees planted from tiny seeds, those values continued growing long after the 3 friends were gone. Even today, whenever children gather beneath the old oak tree at the center of Willow Creek, their parents tell them the story of Ethan, Liam, and Noah. They remind them that every decision they make is like planting a seed. A selfish choice may bring quick rewards but rarely lasts. A kind choice may seem difficult at first, yet it grows stronger with time. And true friendship is not measured by how often friends laugh together during easy days, but by how faithfully they stand beside one another when life becomes difficult. That lesson became the greatest treasure the village ever received, and it remained alive in every orchard, every family, and every heart for generations to come. Moral: true friendship, patience, kindness, and hard work always produce the sweetest and longest-lasting rewards.